Hey guys, Victor here, coming at you with another deck profile, and for today's video we'll be doing an updated hero list. Now, when it comes to building this specific hero deck, I basically went in with the intent that I wasn't going to be playing any hand traps, even though they're obviously really powerful right now, just because I've focused on this deck pretty much going first every single time. And if you're planning on going first every single time, hand traps are just incredibly ineffective at helping you get your game plan across, right? And more often than not, they'll lead you to brick instead of actually being able to accomplish what you want to do. So as a result, I've basically relegated them to the side in order to only put them in basically when you're going second every single time. So cards like Droll, the Charmies, whatever, relegated to the side deck, and instead I opted to basically put in a couple cards that allow us to break our opponent's boards a lot more easily, even though, like I said, the main focus of the deck is to go first and do what we want to do as consistently as possible. So with that out of the way, let's jump right into it. As always, we're going to be starting off with the monster lineup first, and the first card we're going to be talking about is, of course, Elemental Hero Stratos, who, on normal or special summon, is able to activate one of two effects. So it's either able to search your deck for any hero monster, including itself, which, pretty good effect. It basically allows us to get any combo piece that we may need in order to actually be able to have the deck function. But it also is able to destroy spells and traps on the field equal to the number of face-up other hero monsters you control. And that effect honestly comes up a lot more frequently now, especially with the inclusion of decks like Draco Tail, which pretty much always have like 1 to 2 card sets. So through the use of Elemental Hero Stratos, it becomes a searcher as well as like a soft board breaker that just allows us to brute force our way through those types of decks. So yeah, Stratos, really solid card. And for the other elemental heroes, we're playing the one elemental hero Shadow Mist, who is also able to search out a hero monster. However, this one isn't on summon, it's whenever it's sent to the graveyard. And more importantly though, we're going to be trying to use Shadow Mist's other effect to be able to search out a change quick play more frequently, as Master of Dark just kind of auto wins you so many different matchups. Since a lot of the decks are currently graveyard reliant, the only one that it doesn't really do that well against is like Mitsurugi, just because that deck is a little bit weird with like the ways that it's worded, and they can get cards back from the banish, but it's still a hindrance that they have to deal with. And yeah, searching out Mass Change, being able to get access to Darklaw, it's only going to get better once we get the new Mass Hero support, but for now, this is basically our only way to do it. And yeah, just one Shadow Mist though, perfectly fine. Then we're playing one Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. So primarily, or I guess primarily in the past, this card would basically just be used to allow us to draw 2, discard 1. And we're still going to be doing that a lot of the time, but we're actually going to be using its other effect, hopefully more often than not, as this card, in conjunction with cards like Fusion Destiny, basically becomes a 1-card Darklaw, as well as all you have to do is activate the Fusion Destiny, send a Destiny Hero Malicious plus your Shadow Mist to summon out Destiny Hero Dangerous, and from there, you're going to activate your Malicious's effect, but not your Shadow Mist, to be able to summon itself. You're going to blink both of them off into Cross Crusader. Cross Crusader will bring back Dangerous. Pretty important that you bring back Dangerous, by the way, so that if your opponent does have a Viscious, you at least have like a backup plan through your Malicious's graveyard effect. Sorry. And then you're going to activate your Cross Crusader, tribute the Dangerous, search out your Liquid Soldier, normal the Liquid Soldier, bring back the Shadow Mist, and then search out your Mass Change. And just like that, you have a 1-card Darklaw. So yeah, pretty cool. And then for the final Elemental Hero, we're playing the one Elemental Hero Neos, just to be able to access our Flame Wingman fusions. Now, for the Destiny Hero monsters, we're going to be playing 3 Destiny Hero Malicious, 1 Destiny Hero Denier, which is basically copy number 4 and 5 of Malicious, and then lastly the 1 Destiny Hero Plasma, as basically it's basically going to be our main Floodgate monster, as it's a one-sided skill drain. Even though it only has 1900 attack, when you're able to combine it with cards like Destroy Your Phoenix Enforcer, it does become slightly more difficult to get rid of, even though there are plenty of cards that just outed immediately, like Infinite Impermanence, right, or Forbidden Droplet, Book of Eclipse, whatever. But we just need something to try and have some kind of board presence to deal a lot more effectively with our opponents. And if this card just hits the field and the opponent doesn't have anything like the Imperm, for example, a lot of games are just instantly wrapped up. So yeah, pretty powerful card. Then for the Vision Hero monsters, we're playing our 2 Vision Hero Vyon, which in a lot of cases is actually even better than Elemental Hero Stratos, because it puts a hero monster in the graveyard on summon, and then after that, it also allows us to banish a hero monster from the graveyard to be able to search out Polymerization. So this is basically going to be the main method that we have to be able to access cards like Poly more easily, and then from there, Poly will allow us to just bring out our bigger fusion monsters a lot more effectively. And that's basically like just the overall game plan, right? You want to get to Poly as soon as possible through the Vision Hero Vyon, and then just be able to combo off consistently. And then for the one of Vision Heroes, we're only playing one Vision Hero Faris, so also traditionally this would be like a 3 of, but with the way that the current hero deck is built, we can access Vyon a lot more easily, and we really don't even really need to rely on cards like Vision Hero Faris to get our game plan across. But it's still nice to just play the one on the chance that we want to be able to play it, but like it's by no means necessary, and it's only going to become less effective as the future rolls on with the new Master Hero support. But yeah, one Vision Hero Faris and then the one Vision Hero Increase. As if you don't play Increase, there's no point in playing Faris, right? That's it for the Vision Heroes. And then for the Evil Heroes, we're playing one Evil Hero Adusted Gold. This is literally only going to be used to search out Evil Assault, and then Evil Assault will allow us to bring out cards like our Evil Hero Dead End Prison, which effectively becomes a Foolish Burial for our heroes. And its other effect, I guess, is like if this resolves, it's able to become like it becomes King of the Swamp essentially for hero monsters. And admittedly, that effect doesn't really matter all that much, but we're basically just using this to be able to foolish cards like our Shadow Mist, like our Malicious, or even Evil Hero Viscious Claws, which is just like another form of interaction that our opponent has to deal with, right? So right off the bat, if we control a face-up hero monster, we can special summon this card, and that basically makes it like a free extender into like a Link 2 play. But what we typically use this card for, in addition to that, is its graveyard effect, where if our hero monster gets destroyed by battle or card effect, we can bring this card back and then destroy a card that our opponent controls. So it's just another form of interaction that our opponent has to try and fight through to be able to get to our life points. So I really enjoy it. And as far as like the evil hero monsters, that's it. And that's also it for all the monsters in general. Like I said, we're not playing any hand traps in the main, no Ash, no Fua, no Droll, nothing like that. They're all relegated to the side, and they're going to be put in once we find a matchup that they're actually fit for. So with that, that's the monster lineup, and now we can finally move on to the spell and trap section. Now that we're on the spell and trap portion of the video, the first card we're going to be talking about is, of course, a Hero Lives, who, no brainer, is going to be played at 3. This is basically the premier starter of the deck, right? You just have to pay half your life points, which in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't matter, and then you get to special summon out any level 4 or lower elemental hero monster from your deck. So that typically means you're going to be summoning out elemental hero Stratos just to get your engine going, but there are also situations where you want to summon something out like a Liquid Soldier if you already have like all your fusion materials ready to go, or summon out Shadow Mist if you just want the instant 1-card Dark Claw right then and there because you know it'll win you the game. But point is, Hero Lives, got to play it at 3, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then for the only other spell card that we're playing at 3, it's going to be 3 Fusion Destiny, which, while it's not as strong as a Hero Lives, it's still incredibly powerful for what it's able to do, right? As on activation, and if this card is able to resolve, you can either end on a board of DPE Plasma, which obviously very powerful, or you can do the 1-card Dark Claw play that I described earlier. But the only downside to Fusion Destiny is that it locks you into Dark Hero monsters, and with the way that the modern hero deck plays, you play so many different attributes that locking yourself into Dark Heroes honestly does limit you quite a bit. So if you can help it, try not to start with this card. Save it for last for when you're all out of options, right? As that will ensure that you get the most value out of it. But yeah, 3 Fusion Destiny, phenomenal card. And that's it for the 3 ofs. And then for the 2 ofs, we're playing 2 Evil Assault. So of all the starters in the deck, this one is probably my least favorite just because it's the one most susceptible to Ash Blossom, as you do end up discarding a card to activate this card. So if it gets ashed, you feel pretty bad. Depending on what you discarded, right? And obviously, there are some phenomenal cards that you don't want in your hand in most situations, like the Shadow Mist or the Destiny Hero Malicious, that you would very much prefer if they were in the graveyard. But that doesn't make it any less bad, like when this card gets hit by Ash. But point is, this is literally just here to get Dead End Prison out of the deck, and then Dead End Prison will in turn allow us to foolish cards like the Shadow Mist and the Malicious, and then in order to like just get our combo across a lot more easily, right? But yeah. Of all the starters, like I said, this one's probably my least favorite, but it's still a very good card. For other 2 ofs, we're playing 2 Polymerization. I'm just a really big fan of playing double Polymerization in the hero deck, mainly because I feel like this is one of those cards that you want to open as often as possible, but you don't really want to play 3 of it because it does tend to brick just a little bit. But by playing 2, that's like the perfect sweet spot that allows it so even if you get like your Vision Hero Vyon negated, you can at least still combo off. And in a lot of situations, the moment you have this, the Vision Hero Vyon just stops mattering in a lot of situations. So being able to like bait a hand trap on that is honestly pretty cool. But yeah, 2 Poly, a really big fan. Then in order to accompany our 2 Polymerization, we're playing 2 Mass Change. So Darklaw is basically as important as ever, right? And in so many different matchups, it honestly just auto wins you the game. But similarly to Polymerization, we don't want to play 3 of it because it does tend to get a little bit cloggy. However, we do side the 3rd copy for when we're going first, so that way we can guarantee that we can not guarantee, but we can make it a lot more likely that we can actually hit the Dark Claw play. But this is just one of those cards that if you happen to go second, just feels so bad to open up with, because you just genuinely, it's basically just, it might as well be any other card because it's not going to be doing anything. But 2, much like with Poly, is the perfect sweet spot. And then for the board breakers, which we are going to be playing a bunch at 2, it's 2 Forbidden Droplet, 2 Book of Eclipse, and 2 Dark Ruler No More. So these 6 cards, or I guess 3 cards being played at 2 each, pretty much allow us to go into almost any single matchup and be able to effectively break the board on the chance that we happen to go second. Not that we want to, but you know, sometimes you just got to be a little bit more prepared on the chances that you are going to be going second. And outside of like Mitsurugi to like an extent, you can pretty much break any single board with these 6 cards. So yeah, pretty big fan. Then for the 1-ofs, we have the 1 Triple Tactics Talent and the 1 Call by the Grave to try and effectively deal with hand traps. We have the 1 Miracle Fusion, which is what you're going to be searching off of your Elemental Hero Sunrise. And then lastly, the 1 Foolish Burial. So this is essentially your emergency call / reinforcement of the army, but it's a lot more effective because our graveyard, in a lot of situations, is honestly, basically this card does everything that E-Call and Rhoda does, but a lot more effectively. As we can pretty much send anything, whether it's the Mali, the Viscious Claws, the Shadow Mist, and then go from there. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot more flexible with the plays that it offers you, which is why I prefer playing this over those. And then that's it for the spells. And then for the traps, we're just playing the 1 Favorite Contact, which is what you're searching off the Flame Wingman, and is typically what we're going to be using to bring out the Shining Neo Swingman during our opponent's turn to blow up their cards. So with that, that's the spell and trap lineup, and now we can finally move on to the extra deck. Now that we're on the extra deck portion of the video, the first card we're going to be talking about is Extra Hero Inferno Devicer, which is literally only here to be able to search out Elemental Hero Neos. It has literally no other functions but that, but it's still pretty important because, like I said earlier, the Neos is extremely key to just being able to access our Flame Wingman lines. Then to accompany our 1 of Inferno Devicer, we're playing 1 of Extra Hero Wonder Driver, which admittedly, in this version of the deck, because we play double Polymerization, it's not as impactful, but if you're only playing 1 poly in your list, this card is basically like, I don't know how to explain it, but like it's a lot more important in the 1 poly list than it is in the 2 poly list, but it's still incredibly good as it just allows us to reset our fusion spells. It's mainly going to be able to reset Polymerization, but provided it survives a turn, or if you summon a monster during your opponent's turn that happens to be a hero monster, you're also going to be able to get cards such as like your Miracle Fusion, your Mass Changes, your Fusion Destinies from your graveyard and put them back on your field just to be able to play again during your opponent's turn. So yeah, Wonder Driver, really solid card. And then for the final link monster, we're going to be playing 2 Extra Hero Cross Crusader, which allows us to bring back our Destiny Hero monsters and then also tribute Destiny Hero monsters to be able to search our deck for any hero monster. So it's just like it's another great consistency piece that provides us with a little bit more of a grind game, provided turns go past turn 1, turn 2, obviously. But yeah, 2 Cross Crusader, great for consistency. And then we don't play Dread Decimator because this deck already does way too much damage, and that card is just, it's just so unneeded. That's it for the links though. And then for the fusions, we're playing 2 Master Hero Darklaw because Darklaw just auto wins so many different matchups, and you pretty much have to play more than 1 because we are going to be playing multiple mass changes, right? If we were playing 1 mass change, then we can get away with 1 Darklaw, but because we're playing more than 1, I feel like it's better to just play the 2, especially because this card is basically going to be always hit by cards like Infinite Impermanence, right? So having that little extra safety blanket of playing the second one just to ensure that we can control the board a little bit more easily is always going to be greatly appreciated. That's it for the Master Heroes though. Then for the Destiny Heroes, we're playing the 1 Destiny Hero Dangerous for the 1 card Dark Law play. 1 Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer because it's Phoenix Enforcer, right? Need I say more? This card is just insane with the amount of board presence that it generates, especially when you combine it with cards like Dark Law and your Plasma. So yeah, that's it for the Destiny Heroes. And then for the rest are just going to be Elemental Hero Fusions, except for 1 card, which we'll get to at the end. So we have our Elemental Hero Escuridao, which is what we're going to be summoning when we're locked into Darks off of Fusion Destiny. This is a way to OTK our opponents a little bit more easily. 1 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, which, I mean, it's fine, but this card is basically never coming down unless it's like turn 2. And it's going to be like your your prime Miracle Fusion target on the Crackbat, because you're just going to be banishing Liquid Soldier, plus another card to draw 2 cards, discard 1, and then if 0 hits the field, you're going to be able to break your opponent's board no matter what, right? Just because it board wipes them when it leaves the field, as long as it doesn't go back to the extra deck thanks to ruling changes. But yeah, 1-0, perfectly fine. We're playing the 1 Flame Wingman Infernal Rage to be able to search out our favorite contact. And then because we're pretty much always going to be using Elemental Hero Neos to summon this card out, that means that we contribute it in order to special summon out Elemental Hero Sunrise from our extra deck. And because this card activates on special summon, it'll be able to search our deck for Miracle Fusion, and then we just continue to plus and be able to just put pressure on our opponent to OTK them. As for the other Elemental Hero fusions, we're playing the one Wake Up Your Elemental Hero to be able to basically just banish all of our resources from the graveyard to be able to OTK our opponent a lot more easily. And then we also have the one Elemental Hero Shiny Neo Swingman, which is the prime target that we're going to be summoning off of our favorite contact as we summon it, and then it's going to allow us to spell or destroy cards on the field up to the number of different attributes, and you typically have like 2 to 3, and it also counts your opponents. So if they're playing something with like a bunch of different attributes, great for you, and that means you get to be able to destroy a lot more cards as a result. And this card, it's also just like a phenomenal finisher. So yeah, one Shiny Neo Swingman. And then finally, because we're playing multiple polymerizations, we are going to be playing the one Guardian Chimera just to be able to catch people off guard. Now, you do have to be a little bit careful when trying to summon this card because if this card hits the field, you basically cannot use your extra hero Cross Crusaders, period. And depending on how you play with cards like your Vision Hero Faris, as long as you summon this out before the Faris comes down, you'll be fine. But if you summon Faris first, it does lock you into heroes for the rest of the turn. So, just be aware. But this is just like one of those fun, cute techs that I just enjoy throwing into this deck because, like I said, no one ever expects it to come down. And it just also just does generate like a bunch of advantage as well, as it'll allow you to pop cards, draw cards, get rid of cards that you don't really want in your hand, like a Shadow Mist. And then if you are able to discard or I guess fuse away a card like Shadow Mist, you can do a cute thing where like you chain block as well, and then that makes it so this card doesn't lose to Ash Blossom. And because you're using Poly to summon it, it's always going to be untargetable, so they can't Veiler or Impermit. But yeah, I just love this card. I think it's great in this deck. But with that, that's the hero deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.